Dwayne?
Dwayne, Mike said you were going to finish the first half today. Thursday, you're going to finish the first half. What are you going to try to accomplish there? What's your main goal to get through?
The goal for the game is just to be precise with my decision making, lead my guys that are in the huddle with me, and make sure I have some fun out there while doing it, and most importantly, making sound decisions.
When you're pretty successful in a 2-minute drill, is a lot of that based on decision making there, quick decision making?
I always loved 2-minute drills since I was a little kid, so it's like when you got to put the pressure on you to make a play. So whenever I get in there, I want to make sure that I start the drive off pretty smooth with the completion, and then start hitting some balls on the field. So I just get out there, and Coach Tom wants to see how much I can compete, and that's the moment for me to showcase how I can lead other players.
Can you take us through that touchdown pass there?
Yeah, so it was 2-man, and he pretty much covered the go balls on the outside, and AJ ran a great route, checking him at the top of the basic, and just gave him a good ball. He ripped it inside and scored. It's nice.
Wayne, how do you approach this camp? Do you feel like you still have to open eyes? Do you feel comfortable out there with these guys?
I definitely feel comfortable. Probably when I first started training camp, I was trying to get into a rhythm of stuff, but now pretty much being 2 weeks in, I feel pretty comfortable, and now it's just, playing the play and understanding certain, adjustments, certain, players where you can, highlight a certain player against a certain defender, and just understanding kind of how, Ben does things as far as picking out matchups and, executing plays and making checks. So just doing that and getting to a groove of doing that. So I went from kind of trying to learn my guys to know what I'm doing to now, making the most of the plays and finding the right players to throw the ball to.
How does this training camp feel different from your previous ones?
My first 2 years, definitely different as far as just like the atmosphere, where I was at, and then here it reminds me a lot of Ohio State, just how much we compete, how fun it is, and we draw the best out of each other. And I like to talk to the defensive guys and talk to them a little bit. And Coach Tomlin calls me check down, so he wants to see if I can throw the ball down the field. So it's a lot of competitive nature that I think helps bring the best out of you.
Dwayne, Mike says you've grown by leaps and bounds since you arrived in January. How do you view your progress since you got here?
I still think I got ways to go, but as far as just being comfortable in my own skin, I feel like I've done that, and learning not only the coaches but the players, the weight room coaches, the scouts, the guys in the building, because being a quarterback is very important as far as working the guys around you, getting them to believe in you. So from where I'm at now to where I was when I first got here, I just feel like I'm just growing into who I want to be.
When you mentioned Ben, how has that relationship grown, and what are some of the lessons you learned from him?
I grew up watching Ben, so it's great just to see how he operates. I try to learn as much as I can. Having guys like Alex Smith before, and guys who are very seasoned veterans, and every time I can hear a nugget that he says, or every time he makes a check, or every time he talks to a receiver about a detail, I just try to learn as much as I can from him. He does a great job helping me out behind the scenes, but he has a lot of nature and a lot of learning of the game that he's been playing for a long time. So if I can take something from him, that's better for me.
Are you at the point in this offense where you can just play? Do you feel like you know it well enough now?
Yeah, I feel like that. You kind of see it in 2 minutes. I just kind of let it go. And sometimes like certain situations, whether it's third down pass rush, you try to play the play, but sometimes you get a little competitive, and sometimes the first thing I know that you have another down after, not just one play at a time. So Coach Thomas says a lot about drill work being just drills, not football. It's football-like. So I feel like the plays that I do get, I try to get one play, then move on to the next one and let go of the last play.
Dwayne, what do you think is the singular biggest thing you've been working on since you've come to Pittsburgh on the football?
Probably the biggest thing I've just been working on is just is being comfortable. I feel like when I'm like in the rhythm, and Coach Canton calls it like streaky. So when I'm like a shooter that's hot, I feel like I'm pretty good, and just trying to realize when the plays don't go the way I want to, or something happens that isn't planned, to find a way to get back to get hot again.
Do you feel outside of football, how much do you feel like you've grown since arriving in Pittsburgh?
I feel like I'm growing a lot. Just being a mature person, it takes a lot of work. It's very easy to just go back to doing easy stuff as a kid, and trying to be an adult and lead other men. So I feel like earning the respect is something I've been trying to do since I've been here, as far as getting here early, staying late, meeting with coaches, watching more film, spending time throwing with guys after, or talking to the guy at lunch that I don't normally talk to every day. So just the small things of that where I can just help make the guys around me play for me.
Who are some of the people that you are?
Hey guys, can everybody stay behind these lines, because it's blocking the video cameras at the corners.
Who are some of the people that you are kind of leaning on to help you kind of grow up and mature and get used to building relationships here?
Yeah, of course, Ben, Ebron, Joe Hayden, Cam Hayward, all those guys. And even like the young guys like Claypool, Terrell Edmonds, Minka, and all those guys. Me and Najee are close. I actually hosted Najee at a visit Ohio State, so I wish I would have got him, but he went to the other school. But You know, I feel like I have a good relationship with a lot of the players on the team, so I was trying to build on that.
Do you feel like there's an open competition for two? Do you feel like that out there?
Well, I'm trying to make it one, so hopefully we'll see.
Do you think that Thursday, does it feel like your first tryout for maybe the next franchise quarterback of the team?
I feel like that was the first day I got here, so you know, I've been told certain things, and that's just between me and the coaches, and really got to just go out there and prove that I can play.
Last question.
Will there be any nerves or anything like that, you think, when you go out there?
That's my third year going into it. I play a little bit. You know, growing up, I went to a lot of USA camps, and as a kid, I used to play at Canton a lot, so I'm kind of familiar with the stadium. And just the environment being in Ohio will definitely make it a lot of fun for me to be back home. So I'm just excited.
But is Thursday night a big checkpoint for you personally to see where you are, to see kind of gauge where you are in this offense?
For sure, definitely with live bullets and, you know, game going in at a real tempo, but I feel like the game should be easier because you practice so hard. So I feel like I've done a great job of trying to push the tempo when things get a little low out here, and realizing that in the game, you know, I can actually take off for first down if I need to instead of taking a sack, or some plays where a guy might get tackled for 2 yards, he might break that tackle and get 5 or 6 yards. So it's really about momentum and trying to get guys to understand that and get into momentum in the game on Thursday.
Kind of get to go home a little bit here, aren't you, this week?
Yes, sir. Going back to Canton is almost like home. That's one of the first places we went as an Akron commit. That's one of the places they take you before you go see the campus. So going back there is kind of like reminiscent to me. I'm excited to actually go and play in the stadium, so I'm excited for Thursday.
You've missed the last 2 seasons, so they've been pressured by back.
Yeah.
How is your back feeling, and overall, how has it felt to come back and really get a third shot at this?
Man, I can't thank God enough for just giving me the opportunity to just get back out here and play again. He's been very good to me, allow me to just come back both years, to now to be healthy. My back's feeling good. I have a routine every day that I continue to do to keep my back healthy and keep it feeling good. So I'm excited, man, and just thankful for the opportunity that's ahead of me, and thankful for the opportunity just to be out here each and every day.
As a young player who didn't get a preseason last year, you kind of you had one 2 years ago, you had it taken away from you last year. You kind of take these a little more like they're precious this year?
Yeah, they're for sure precious, because last year you missed it, and I think it was a big deal for a lot of guys missing preseason, and as well for me as well. It's one of those things they couldn't really see me coming off my back injury my rookie year. So coming into this season is precious, is like every other game. That's how I prepare for it. It's preseason, regular season, it's all the same to me. So I'm just ready to go out there to compete and just show that I continue to play.
Do you think about what's at stake, perhaps a bigger role in this defense this year?
It is a big opportunity, but at the end of the day, I don't get too high, I don't get too low. I kind of just keep it minimal and just understand what I need to do each and every day. I just have a motto I stay by day, and that's all I focus on each day that I have. So, it is a big opportunity, but I'm excited for what's ahead.
How do you help distinguish yourself? Is it through special teams? Is it through something else? What do you think you need to do to really solidify a spot here?
Honestly, it's always special teams. So for a guy like me, a late rounder, and a guy that's coming off injury, special team is a big way to kind of stay on the team, stay on the unit. So coming out for Thursday and be able to be on the special teams that I'm on and just show that I'm still able to play, that's the biggest thing. And then, of course, when it's my time on defense, continue to show my skills there as well.
Tomlin said that it's hard to get a feel for special teams when you're just in practice, that it has to happen in a live game. Do you feel like it helps you this year to have preseason to show your special teams abilities?
For sure it does, because at the end of the day, last year when we didn't have preseason, we had to hit in practice, and that's sometimes not as well because, of course, you want to keep guys up. So having a game opportunity is big, so you could just go out there and hit the other team. But at the end of the day, the Steelers play and practice as if it's a game. So I kind of get the feel of fast pace as it is in the game, because that's how the look team gives us. But at the end of the day, a game is always different, and it's good to be able to get that look on Thursday.
You were the dime linebacker last year when Devin was out for a few games before you got hurt yourself. Do you anticipate having that role or any type of sub-package role even with Devin and Spillane there?
Honestly, I don't know. I'm kind of open to whatever they want me to be at. Like I said, I'm just taking it day by day, allowing to sharpen my skills wherever I need to be, and whatever they need of me, I want to be able and be willing to be there. So, like I said, I'm just open to whatever they want me to be. At the end of the day, now that Devin back, I'm sure he'd probably be more of that dime because he was a starter. But at the end of the day, if they need me, I'm there.
Do you feel like you can play both of those spots inside?
Oh, well, yes, I do. And that's one of the things they allowed me to do last year. One of the biggest things they kind of put me out there in the fire. It was always looking at Mac, but then they put me to Buck, and then I just be able to know both positions. So I'm happy they was able to do that. I'm happy I was able to learn fast and learn both of them because it gives me versatility for the defense.
Speaking of coverage, you went up against Pat Freiermuth a few times in one-on-ones over the past few weeks. How has it been covering him, and what have you seen from him as a defensive end?
Oh man, he's amazing. That's what I've been saying every day. He's just a great tight end. He's very smooth in his routes. He's very precise. And he has great hands, strong hands. So it's been a great competitor to go against because I know this year we played the Chiefs, and he reminded me of Travis Kelce, just how smooth he is and how great of a hands he has. So it's great to go against somebody like that every day.
I know you guys like having the fans here, but like in a drill like that, Freiermuth makes a catch, fans go crazy. Do you guys, as a defensive guys, feel you get enough love here that maybe the fans can cheer for the defense?
Man, it's an offensive league. That's what we know. So at the end of the day, we all on the same team. I'm just happy that Pat is on our team at the end of the day. So to hear the fans go crazy for the offense, it's all love. I just get up and it's practice for me. And at the end of the day, the offense is there to make the fans happy. So that's what it's all about.
Jerry O said that the linebackers have to cover better against even slot receivers.
Right.
Because that's what the scheme allows you guys to do. You guys have to stay in base sometimes, and you guys get up against guys like Landry and A.J. Brown. What do you have to do better to cover those guys technically? What is, for you personally,
for me personally, it's about being patient, and having great leverage, and knowing who I'm going against, studying that person before the game starts, and also know where my help is at. I think that's key to know what's always happening on the defense, so you be able to play those guys better.
Any fights today, Dan?
No fights today. No fights today.
You seem so respectful to us in the media. How come you're not as respectful to your elders on the field?
It's the competitive spirit of football.
There's been a lot made of the offensive line as a whole having a better edge, a lot of that coming from Coach Clem. What kind of directives are you guys getting from him in that respect, in showing an edge even just in a training camp practice?
Just being physical, the way we talk, our terminology, our drills, just the way we try to go about our business on a daily basis. Everything is emphasized to be physical.
Does that contribute to you guys getting kind of chirpy, getting in the face of some of the D linemen?
Possibly. Like I said, I think it's just the competitive spirit of football.
Everything gets smoothed over after practice on these instances?
Oh man, yeah, we're in there laughing and talking and having fun.
Dan, you know, you've been facing like Melvin Ingram, Alex Hasbro. You've been thrown into the fire because of some injuries. How has it been going against those guys when you were a fourth-round rookie getting thrown right into the starting?
I think it's a challenge, and it's a challenge that I'm not afraid of. I mean, coming in, I knew what awaited me, and I think it's helping me get better.
Coach, you feel progress being made?
100%.
In what ways?
Just everything. The way when I punch, not opening the gate all the time, being more physical in the run game. I think it's helping me in all aspects.
You know, one thing Coach Clem said you were having a little bit of trouble with is you had to learn new pass sets, flatter sets, both in, like on play action, stuff like that, just learning that. How is that coming along with your footwork and learning new pass sets from what you did in college?
It's a different system, and it's different. Like I said, I mean, just in the run game specifically, where we're trying to be more physical and we're running at defenders, not around defenders. That's a little bit different from what I've been doing in the past. In the past game, we have a little bit of mixture of sets, but it's all coming together.
Yeah. How do you approach this first opportunity Thursday?
Just like I've approached every single day of practice, just trying to get better.
You talked about those specific sets. What are you doing mostly? Vertical sets, 45 sets? What's the big thing that Adrian Clem wants you guys to do?
It's a mixture, and it honestly depends on the defenders that we have on our side of the ball, whether we have the slide to us or away from us. It's quite a few things that depend on that.
You know, you get coached by Duke Manyweather. What have you kind of learned from him throughout this process and becoming this Steelers coach?
Just mentally being prepared, honestly, and being around the guys that I train with. They've also helped me. Teron Armstead, Jeff Swartz was there for a little bit when we were training. Lane Johnson, guys like that, big name guys that you can learn from who have experience.
I feel like you're going to learn a lot about where this offensive line is come Thursday night.
Definitely.
Where do you feel it is right now as a whole?
We'll have to find out on Thursday.
What's the first thing you hear from Cam Hayward after you guys go up against each other? Is he like, I'm sure in the moment it's kind of heated, but what kind of things are you exchanging in that? Does he like the edge, or what would he like to see out of you guys?
I mean, it's football. Like I said, we're just out there being physical and doing our jobs.
And I'm sorry, you've played. I mean, you've played football obviously most of your life, and you played at a big time level in college. What do you think is going to be different about an NFL, even an NFL preseason game?
Just the attention to detail. Everybody talks about the speed, but it's just the quickness of everything, the split decisions, post snap and pre snap, that can really determine not only a drive or a play, but a game.
How much have you learned so far, and how much more do you still need to learn?
Tons, and I don't think the learning stops. I mean, we have 9, 8-year vets out here, and they're still learning. So I don't think the developmental process stops at all.
Is it better to have
Last
that?
question?
It's better to have that edge and to be able to kind of to ramp up instead of like not having it. You know what I'm saying? Like instead of having to dial back, like if you already have that edge, you can dial back instead of like having to ramp up. Does that make sense? Like is it better to just in general for you guys and as a line as a whole?
I'm not really understanding your question. I'm sorry.
Tomlin says he'd rather say "whoa" than "sick 'em." Thanks. That's what he's that's what he's always said.
Okay.
That's I think where Dan's coming from.
Yeah, man.
So
I mean,
you will hear that.
I mean, we've always come out with the competitive edge.
Sure.
Talk about dialing it back. We try not to dial it back.
Right.